breath is the new wave. It really is. You know, yoga's had its thing, and we've got maybe 300 million practitioners doing yoga now of some kind or another across the face of the planet. And mindfulness is landed. It's in the corporate world, it's in governments, it's in hospitals. Yeah? It's doing really well. And breath is the next wave. And like any of these waves, there are going to be people who have been practicing these things for donkey's years. And there are going to be young marketing aficionados who see the wave and try and sell the wave without having the depth of practice that some have. Because that's the way of things. That's how it is in the world of capitalism. So, what does breath do? What can the breath practices give you? Well, they can give you healing. They can heal the body, help heal the body. They can help heal the mind and the heart, and they can help prevent illnesses. So there's a level of healing that we get. There's also a level of soothing where we can learn to really work with soothing breaths, which is where we're often lengthening the exhale and extending the length of the breath, and that can calm the mind, soothe the mind, soothe the heart, soothe the body. And we've got powerful practices of energizing. Now, energizing is different to activating. Activating is where we get kind of like wired. Yeah. So if you do an energizing practice badly, you can end up feeling wired and activated. You can even redo trauma with it. So we want to be careful with the practices of energizing and learn them properly. Because energizing, when we get those practices properly, are vast, expansive practices where we feel like we are huge, and the possibilities in the world are huge. Potential of everything is huge. It takes us into the vastness. So that's already several different practices. We've got healing, we've got soothing, and we've got energizing. There's also empowering. Practices of empowerment are incredible, where we find aspects to our personality and character we never knew existed. We find new places in ourselves, new possibilities. We expand our potential. We grow in creativity. We grow in awareness. The empowerment aspects of breath can be phenomenal. And again, you need to learn those from a qualified teacher. Somebody who's been qualified simply means somebody who's been doing it for long enough to understand the practices at depth. They haven't just read a few books and are trying to sell something the next wave to make a few quid to go on a holiday somewhere or buy themselves a new yacht or whatever it is. Yeah, that people do. And people do. Another aspect of practice is liberating. Radically liberating. And what this means is that you can work with practices of breathing that will take you into the recognition, yeah, of a place inside of yourself, not that you have a self or are a self, inside of this organic beingness, yeah, where you will find what yogis call Satchitananda. Satchitananda, a state of being, consciousness and bliss, the original nature. It's kind of formless and empty, and therefore when people start to go into it, it can feel scary because there's no self left as you go into it. The self dissolves into the ocean of vaster experience. Now, generally with these kind of practices, we need a qualified teacher, and a qualified teacher is somebody who's been doing it for long enough and deep enough to know where the pitfalls are, yeah, where it can take you to, and how to help you manage that if something goes interesting. What can happen? What could possibly go wrong? Well, nothing really ultimately, but we can find that deep emotional trauma can be released in the system, and that of course can be very problematic. It can spill into life, but also it can be upsetting, should we say. It's difficult to manage it if you're not used to working with that. So having some mentor, a guide, a way of working with that effectively is really, really helpful. Yeah. So, if you're going to a breath event, which is a great big public gathering, and there isn't a holding group and there isn't a qualified teacher, I would say don't go, personally. Be careful. It's not a public sport. Yeah. It's something which takes you deep into the deepest, darkest recesses of your experience and brings the light to those. And that adaptogenic quality is useful, so you probably won't go there in those spaces anyway, but that adaptogenic quality is really powerful because it liberates what is ready to be worked with, what is ready to be experienced, what is ready to be released in your life. Breath is super powerful. Now, I was reading a little piece on meditation, it was a cartoon on meditation, but it's truth in it, where somebody meditates and they uncover dark desires inside themselves. This guy uncovered desires to go around stabbing people and hurting people and this kind of thing. There are people who meditate and they uncover libidinous desires where they just want to, have sex with just about anything that moves. And that's because those people don't have teachers. They haven't got a qualified teacher who can help them work with those deep primal energies, and they are primal energies in us, and we have to honour those primal energies, and the point is that we work with them, we have to work with them effectively. And when we can work with those primal energies and transform them, that's what the teacher is there for. Then we find the liberating potentials within the practice. So whether we're working the practice of mind mastery, or whether we're working with the practice of conscious breath work, we need a guide. Somebody who's done enough of the practice, gone deep enough in the practice to have mastered those qualities in themselves to guide us through. And if they haven't done that work, they can't help you. So this is one of the problems of the way the movement of these ancient practices, and they are an ancient tradition, these ancient practices are moving into the Western world, is they're becoming something that can be bought and sold like tomatoes or apples, and that is not the way these practices have traditionally been shared. So I wish you well in your exploration of the new wave of breath work. It is amazing. It is absolutely fabulous. It's an unbelievably powerful way of working with this experience of being alive and finding the depths of that, going deep. It's incredible. And if you want to work with me, of course, you can find me. You find me here on the internet. You can find out more about me and how to work with me. You've got my website, www.christophergladwell.com.